Hi everyone, welcome to Summer Says. It's been a little while. I ended up falling down that path again where I was just like overthinking what I was doing and what I was creating, and I was like, can people even see value in what I do? And that's just not the type of creative pathway I want to go down, so we're gonna try again. This week's episode, I really want to dive into this theme that was reoccurring into my life the past year and a half. And I feel like I've gotten over it, but it was something that was quite prominent, which is being too much and feeling like you're too much. It's so easy to go down that pathway of believing that you're too much, you're asking for too much, when you are surrounded by people that aren't able to love you and appreciate you in the way that you want, or the way that you feel that you deserve. I was in a relationship where I was expressing my needs and what my love languages were, and I was told that I'm asking for too much and that my expectations are too high. And so I started to question myself and be like, oh, maybe it is me, like maybe I should lower them. And then I also had friendships where our loyalty wasn't the same, or I had their back and maybe they didn't have mine, and we just weren't meeting each other in the same way that I wanted to be met. And so I started to settle and say that maybe it's me, and maybe I shouldn't be asking for too much, and I shouldn't expect stuff from friends, and I started to dim myself and dim what I love and dim what I need. And it left me in a place feeling so insecure and really not good within myself, because I had to constantly think about who I am and how I show up to the people around me, like making myself uncomfortable so they can feel comfortable. I read this quote and it was like, if people struggle to digest you, then let them choke. Don't dim your light for the sake of other people's comfort. And so this recurring theme in my life, it just kept popping up, like I feel like I'm too much and I don't know how to get over that. And then I just had this realization one day, like, yeah, I am a lot. I'm going to embrace that. And I'm a lot to people who can't handle it. But I know that the right people won't be able to get enough of me. And the more time I spend around people who don't appreciate me, or who make me feel like I'm asking for too much or I'm expecting too much, the more I start to question myself, and I lost confidence. And, these weren't just, friends that I known for a little bit. These are, best friends that I consider like loyal to, and there's tiers in friendships, so I went through this breakup about a year and a half ago, and with that it also took my friends, some of my friends of many years. I found out the messages behind my back, things weren't with my best intention. It wasn't the type of friendships or connections that I'm wanting in my life, and unfortunately they ended not in the nicest way. And it left me I either questioned myself. I was in this two-way street. I was like, I either blame myself and say that I'm asking for too much and I shouldn't be expecting this from friends, or I take the other path, and the other path was much more confidence. It was about knowing that I deserve to be loved the way that I want to be loved, and I deserve to be appreciated the way I want to be appreciated. And I really do struggle with this new age self-care, friendships, connections, kind of cancel on you last minute and say it's self-care. Like, you can only do that so many times to the point where I don't feel connected to you. And community isn't built through comfortability. Sometimes you have to be a bit uncomfortable in order to stay strong in your connections if you truly care about them. That's how I feel. And I've learnt not to settle. The more I settled, there was still this craving inside of me. There was still this craving that knew that I wanted more and knew that I desired more within friendships, where, I'm loyal like a dog. Like, I crave that. And when you're around people who are friends with everyone, it's really hard to feel close to people who are still friends with people who do you wrong. That's the type of loyalty I devour. Like, if you're my best friend or you're one of my closest friends and someone really does you wrong, they do me wrong as well. Like, I see it as family. Like, close connections to me, I've had to understand for myself, it may not be the same for everyone, but you have to understand what are your rules in relationships and what are your rules in friendships. And when I was in friendships, I learned that we have a contract. If we have shared life together and we've shared secrets and we've cried together and we've, opened up our life together, then yes, we have a contract together, in my opinion. The contract is having each other's backs, loyalty, being there for each other when we can, accountability. I had to take huge steps back away from people who wouldn't be able to take accountability and would deflect, if that's the way you feel, that's a reflection back at you. If you don't feel seen or heard in this relationship or this connection, that's a reflection back on you and you need to work on it. And this drove me nuts, this new age, spiritual, not taking accountability or seeing or hearing what other people have to say. Because for me, if I make you uncomfortable or if I've made you feel a certain way, please talk to me. If we're good friends, if we've got a bond, then please bring it up to me. I have no trouble hearing you and correcting myself because I love you and I care for you and I want to be able to make you also feel seen and heard. And I'm not gonna say that just because you don't feel like maybe you don't feel heard or you don't feel like I'm there for you. I'm not going to tell you that it's a reflection back at you and put it on you and say that, well, you need to work on your confidence. Oh my God, guys. Sorry, if you're on the YouTube right now, I just realized this is a terrible angle. Just looked at the camera, I got, sorry guys, I'm fully just like mansplaining to you. That's, where was I? And so, yeah, I had to realize what works for me. Just because it's not working for you or it doesn't resonate with you, I'll find people that will have the same morals, the same way of viewing friendships and connections and partnerships. Like, I am a lot. I'm so much. I'm a lot, and I'm not going to feel bad or ashamed about it. I feel a lot. I want to express a lot. And so instead of feeling shameful and sad about that, I started to be like, yeah, I am, and embrace it. Maybe this is a bad example, but I remember when I used to get sometimes I still do, but when I get stoned and I would walk out in public, I would get like, oh my God, so paranoid and be like, they know, they can see it. And then my friend was like, just embrace it. Just say, yeah, you are. And I started to embrace it more. And when you switch that mentality, I just didn't care. And I think that's the way I want to move forward in my life, is just not caring so much. Like, I can care so much and want to tweak and fix and perfect, but it's like, no, I don't want to care anymore. And I want to embrace who I am. On my year of reflecting and trying to figure it out, the same thoughts kept coming back to me, that you crave loyalty in friendships, that you crave these certain qualities. And to deny myself of these needs, I'm going to be constantly surrounded by connections and people that don't actually resonate with me, that don't actually feel solid. Like, how am I meant to feel close to people that don't have the same mindset in that way? They say, don't expect the love that you give, and I say, well, I do. If I'm there for you and I have your word and I have your back and I have all these things, then yes, I do expect that back. Because to me, a solid friendship is being able to meet each other eye to eye. So go be a lot. Be so much. Don't let yourself be dimmed by what other people say about you. And just because people feel uncomfortable by your presence doesn't mean that you should change. I've realized in life you'll always make people uncomfortable with yourself. Always. Even when I've tried to make other people feel comfortable, I've still made people uncomfortable. So I'm just like, fuck it. I have to just embrace it. I have to embrace who I am. And I've started to switch into this mentality. If you don't like me, then you can fuck off. I don't know if I can say this actually. Maybe I'll have to bleep it or whatever. But I almost got tired of myself. I got tired of switching and changing and not living up to the potential that I know I want to be for the sake of what other people will think. So I'm really thankful that the past year I've been able to embrace it rather than still try and change and shift and negotiate my own needs and wants. And if you don't feel appreciated with the people that you're surrounded with, leave. I used to because sometimes I love people. I'd meet people and I think they're so cool, but they might not think fully the same about you back. So as much as you can appreciate someone and want to be friends with them, like, it doesn't mean that they also see the same way as you. And so I've had to had a reality check where just because I like someone doesn't mean they actually appreciate me back in the same way that I want to be appreciated. You know, you want to be able to be around people where you can be loud and you can say your weird jokes and be quirky and not be judged or feel small. If you start to feel small, if you start to feel uncomfortable, take these as a sign that these people are not your people. And that if you have a conversation about it and they're not able to hear you and deflect, then they aren't your people. Stop making excuses for people and start seeing that sometimes we're just different, and sometimes you have to step away from people who you aren't resonant with anymore, and people who make you feel like you're a lot. Because I've been surrounded by people who fully appreciate me, and that love and presence just makes me feel so uplifted. So trust in your instinct. I'm very, very thankful I've been able to come to terms with being a lot. I am a lot. I want to be able to know what I want within friendships, which I want to be able to have friendships where I can be angry and be upset and tell them about it without being told that I need to dim down or settle down or it wasn't that big of a deal, you know? I want to be seen and heard in that way, and I kind of use these experiences as a time to reflect on what I want. And you go throughout friendships and relationships in your life, and afterwards you leave and you're like, okay, I really like these qualities, and these qualities I don't think I can do this forever in a friendship or for long term. Rather than being like, oh, it's me and I have to change, because I've always fell down this path of it's me and I have to change. And I'm a lot, and I love it, and I love embracing that and embracing who I am. I think that's all I have to share. My brain is kind of slowing down a little bit. And I feel like that's all I have to share. Let me just sit with it. Hang on. Yeah, just coming to terms and acceptance with this has really been able to build my confidence, because I just accept who I am. I accept what I need. I accept the kind of love that I need. And I realized the longer I spent time with those people who weren't actually my people, not that I wasted time, but I now know earlier what the signs are on who your group is. So trust your instinct, guys, and be a lot. Make people uncomfortable. Don't you dare dim your light for the sake of other people's comfortability. You will always offend people throughout your life, and I really was tricked. I was thinking that you could go about life and it wouldn't be like that, but you will always make people uncomfortable with how you dress and how you act, and the more you are faced with that, the more you just don't care. The more you're exposed to it, you just don't care. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. I hope that maybe this was able to resonate with some of you guys, and I'll be seeing you guys all next week. Bye. Even the bird is goodbye.